Something is holding you back. You feel it every morning when the alarm rings. That invisible weight pressing down on your chest, whispering that you are not ready, that the world is too big, too fast, too unforgiving. You try to push forward, yet you stumble. You try to take a leap, yet your feet remain glued to the ground. And deep inside, there's a voice, a quiet, almost hidden voice that says, "There is more, but you are not yet free to reach it." Have you ever wondered what that weight really is? The monk who has walked through silence and seen the mind in its rawest form knows the answer. And it is simpler and yet more profound than you can imagine. You are held back not by the world, not by your circumstances, not by luck or talent, but by the invisible chains within your own mind, fear, doubt, the stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you are capable of. These are the shadows that follow you, even in the brightest sunlight. The monk sits in the corner of a quiet monastery, the wind brushing past the bamboo trees outside, and he watches countless seekers come and go, each carrying their invisible burden, each searching for answers outside themselves. And he says the same thing to all of them. Look closer. The thing you fear most is not the world. It is you. That's the twist. We search for freedom in places that will never offer it. We chase success in forms that will never satisfy. We try to outrun the weight when the weight is not outside, but inside. Imagine a bird trapped in a cage. Every day it beats its wings against the iron bars, frustrated, angry, desperate to fly. It looks at the sky and dreams of heights it will never reach, blaming the trees, the clouds, the wind for holding it back. But the bars are invisible. They exist only because the bird believes it cannot escape. The moment it realizes that it holds the key in its own claws, the cage disappears. The monk explains that fear and doubt are just that, invisible cages built from years of belief, conditioning, and hesitation. Every "I can't" you've ever said, every "what if I fail" that has lingered in your mind, every self-imposed limitation, it is one of the bars of your cage. And here is the paradox. The more you resist them, the stronger they become. You push against fear, and it laughs. You try to silence doubt, and it multiplies. You wait for courage to arrive from the outside, and it never comes. Courage is not given. Courage is uncovered. It is hidden beneath the layers of your own mind, waiting for you to reach through the shadows and claim it. The monk will ask you, what story are you telling yourself right now? Maybe it is the story that you are too small. Maybe it is the story that you do not deserve greatness. Maybe it is the story that life is unfair and opportunities are only for the lucky few. These stories, though seemingly harmless, are chains. They are habits of thought that tell your mind, do not move, do not grow, do not rise, and here's the lesson. The moment you question the story, you loosen a link. The moment you whisper back, perhaps I can, a bar bends, a door creaks open, a possibility appears. Think about the mind like a garden. Every thought is a seed. Fear plants thorns. Doubt grows weeds. And hope, courage, action. They are flowers that can bloom only if you remove the weeds. Only if you water them with intention. Only if you tend them with discipline and patience. The monk will walk you through this garden in silence, pointing out the invisible roots beneath your steps. He will not plant the flowers for you. He will not pull the weeds. That is your work. And yet he will give you the insight that makes all the difference. The weeds only thrive because you have been watering them with attention. If you stop giving fear your energy, it withers. If you stop believing the stories that tell you you cannot, you find that the ground beneath your feet is suddenly fertile. You can plant anything you wish. You can grow anything you wish. And here is where the human mind often trips. It wants to sprint immediately. We look at the monk and think, I will conquer fear today, I will master my mind, I will transform my life in a single sunrise. But that is not how it works. Transformation is not a firework, it is a river. Quiet, slow, persistent, carving valleys in stone over time. The monk teaches patience, not as resignation, not as waiting, but as steady, mindful action, as deliberate courage in small steps. The moment you decide to face a fear, the moment you choose to act despite the tremor in your chest, that is the moment the invisible bar bends. It bends not in some mystical instant, but because consistency accumulates. Each day, each choice, each refusal to let the stories dictate your path is a strike of the hammer against the chains. The monk often gives a simple practice to those lost in their own minds. Name the fear. Speak it. Look at it as if it were a stranger. Ask it why it lingers. Most people panic. They refuse, they push away. But the monk smiles because he knows naming fear is the first step to dissolving it. Once it is spoken, it loses its grip. Once it is observed, it loses its power. Once it is questioned, it may even vanish. And here is another truth. Often, what we fear is not real at all. It is an illusion, a shadow cast by our own doubt. You may fear failure, but failure is only a teacher. You may fear judgment, but judgment is only perception. You may fear loneliness, but solitude can be a mirror to your true self. The monk will tell you, the mind loves stories. But the truth does not need stories. The truth is simple. You are stronger than you believe. You are capable of more than you imagine. You are not your fear. And yet understanding intellectually is not enough. That is why the monk's teachings always return to action. Because the mind, left alone, will twist knowledge into excuses. Action is the antidote to self-deception. Action is the key to freedom. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, the wind roaring past your ears, the ground below shrouded in mist. Fear will scream, step back, retreat, stay safe. Doubt will whisper, you cannot fly. You will fall. But the monk will say, take the step anyway. Trust your legs, trust your wings, trust your intention. And when you step, even if your feet falter, even if the fall seems imminent, you discover that the fear was not a wall, but a veil. That the chains were never locked, only imagined. That you always had the power to move, to rise, to transform. And here's the deeper layer. Once you see the chains, once you understand the shadows you have been carrying, you will realize that they were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to teach you. Fear, doubt, hesitation, they are mirrors. They reflect the truth of your mind, the places you have not explored, the courage you have not yet claimed. The monk will guide you, not by giving answers, but by helping you see the answers already within. He will ask questions that pierce the fog. What do you want if fear did not exist? What would you create if doubt were not at your side? Who would you become if the story you tell yourself changed? These questions sting because they demand honesty. But in that sting lies liberation. Because the mind, confronted with its own truth, begins to dissolve the illusions it has held for years. And you begin to move differently. You begin to breathe differently. You begin to act differently. You begin to see differently. The monk often emphasizes one last principle. Your chains are also your teachers, and your freedom is also your responsibility. No one can unlock the bars for you. No ritual, no mantra, no external force can set you free. Only awareness, courage, and deliberate action can. And when you take that responsibility, something miraculous happens. The world does not suddenly become easier. The path does not suddenly straighten, but you become stronger. You become clearer. You begin to navigate the twists and turns of life with a calm authority, a quiet confidence that does not need validation. The monk will remind you, strength is not in avoiding fear. Strength is in walking through it. And the greatest gift? Once you learn to walk through your own shadows, you begin to see others' chains as well. You recognize the invisible bars that hold back those around you, and you realize that compassion is born not from perfection, but from understanding struggle. You begin to help, to guide, to lift, not because you have all the answers, but because you have learned the first step, to face yourself honestly. And finally, the monk leaves you with this thought, a thought that echoes long after you leave the monastery, a thought that settles in the bones and the heart. The only thing that truly holds you back is your own mind. The only story that limits you is the one you continue to tell yourself, and the only way forward is through. Through fear, through doubt, through hesitation. Through silence, through reflection, through courage, you are not trapped. You are not weak. You are not destined to remain small. You are capable of moving mountains, not because the world will give you permission, but because you will give yourself permission. The chains dissolve the moment you see them. The cage vanishes the moment you realize it is imagined, and the first step is always yours to take. So ask yourself today, what story have I been telling myself? What fear have I been hiding from? What weight have I been carrying, believing it is outside of me when it has always been within? Step into the light of awareness. Step into the action of courage. Step into the truth of your potential. The monk will not hold your hand. He will not carry you. But he will nod in quiet approval as you step forward, as you claim your freedom, as you become the person you were always meant to be. And now it is your turn. The chains are there only if you believe they are. The cage exists only if you see it. The step is waiting only for you to take it. Breathe. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Recognize the story, question the story, step through the story. Walk into the life that has always been possible. The monk will smile because he knows you are free. You have always been free. You just had to see it for yourself. And if this message resonated with you, if something stirred inside you as you listened, do not let it end here. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what fear you are ready to face. Hit that like button if this insight sparked something in your heart. And make sure to subscribe to Echoes of Greatness for more journeys into the mind, the spirit, and the untapped power within you. Step forward. The world waits for your courage.